Hello.
Hey everyone.
And welcome. This video is going to explain about the embodiment retreat that we have very soon, the Unfettered and Embodied Awakening Retreat. And we would like to talk a bit about how all the practical stuff is, but also why we think that embodiment is so important. So let's start there. You often hear in the videos that we have, both in the curriculum and also on all the videos on Todd's channel, that it's very much about feeling into the body. You only have the five senses: the seeing, hearing, smelling, tasting, and touching. And then we have the thoughts. And the thoughts is like a little add-on to seeing. Then we have a little add-on about all the thoughts about what we think we are seeing, or hearing, smelling, tasting, touching. And when we start to work with awakening, it takes us through a journey in finding out how much is happening in our thoughts and how much is actually happening. With the awakening, what is the experience is that when you start to see the difference between what is actually happening in the five senses and how much is thought, the thoughts become kind of irrelevant. It's more like a sound in the background, like you hear a car passing in the road or a dog barking. You don't really pay any more attention to it. You know that you can't have a thought that's true, and you know that all of that is happening in the mind is just a journey that you're taking away from reality. And that is basically awakening. It's not anything more miraculous or mystical than that. What then happens when you start to work with awakening? Because that is like seeing through self. That's like the first step of it. Then what we do with the curriculum is that we take you through the same experience, but with feelings and emotions. And that is like a different kettle of fish. You know, that is like different, because we tend to believe that when we have a feeling or when we have an emotion, that is important. But in the second fetter we're working with, that it's actually not, because a feeling or emotion is a sensory experience in the felt sense, in the body. You feel a contraction, you feel a restriction, and then you add a thought to that. And that is happening so quick that in the second fetter, what we do is we slow down and we zoom in and find out what is actually happening and what do you think is happening. That part is a part of the embodiment. And that part is why it's so important to work further with it. So when you get deeper into that, you start to notice that the body can actually have a posture or a facial expression or anything like that that makes you think that you're happy or sad.
Yeah.
And that embodiment, that way that we are moving our body, that we're moving around in space, is tied into very, very early developmental stages. And that is what we do on the retreat. We release all of that tension that is in the body. We look at what is actually there without creating a story about it. And then we reprogram the body into a new posture and a new way of moving about in life. And that is what we do on the 7-day retreat.
Yeah, essentially every time that we are lost in thought in some form, we are divorced from the body. We're cut off from everything below the neck, or even a lot of times from the feelings that are happening also in the face, like the expressions and all of that. And so it's easy for it to be taken as being something very significant and important. But in order to get out of the thought, it can be an antidote to just come back to what's in the body. And that's why, like you said, it's so important to not have a story attached to it, because that's just leading to more thoughts.
Yeah.
So we really just want to be in a space where the body can be the body. It can have the sensations that are there. The sensations get experienced as they are. And then if things need to be released, they just release on their own without having to put any extra Post-it notes or anything else on top of it.
Yeah. And in the curriculum, you have lots of exercises that are helping you doing exactly that. What we do in the retreat and why it's different and why it is an add-on that you need to specifically choose that you would like to do, it is that it is on a deeper level. It's very much about moving the body in ways, releasing tension that is in the body, and there will surface things. A lot of times it's not so much for example, sadness that is coming up, it's not about the story about the sadness. It's very important to keep noticing that there is a difference between the body contracting as if we're sobbing or crying, and then all the stories about why this is happening.
Yeah.
That needs to be detached.
Absolutely.
And it's why we want this add-on to be part of a retreat, because we would like there to be some kind of support around you, so it's not just randomly available on YouTube.
Yeah.
We would like there to be some kind of support in what we do, and that is why we are making the material for the retreat. But also, we started out by wanting to make a 1-week retreat, and then things just...
It's really ballooned. Yeah.
That's a great expression. It really has ballooned.
It has. It has. It's changed focus, and
it's expanded so
much that it was not at all what we were
No.
initially considering. But I think ultimately it's going to be so powerful and so helpful and unique in the way that we approach things.
Yeah. But it's also why the retreat now is not only limited to the 7 days.
Yeah.
It is an add-on that you can do. It is made as a home retreat. So either you join us for in June when we have
June
the
10th.
retreat, or you can buy the add-on and you can do a home retreat in whichever way you want, and then you have access to the support and to the material, so you can go deeper in the embodiment. I also want to say that there's a huge difference in what we are doing with the embodiment and normal psychomotoric therapy or normal body therapy. In normal body therapy, we are very focused on the story. We're very focused on releasing whatever tension is there, looking at why did this happen, what underlying belief have you created, and really untangle all those family ties into a dysfunctional family, if that is what you have had, or whatever trauma that you have experienced. But it's very much focused about the story. And what we keep emphasizing is that this is unfettered and embodied awakening, that it's about allowing the body to experience whatever it needs to experience, to express whatever it needs to express, but not adding a story to it. The story is what is actually keeping us in a distance, because the moment we go into the story, we talk about the story. We're no longer in the experience that the body is having, and that is what you left like 40 years ago, and why it's so important to keep staying with the body and with the sensory experience in the body. We do that in different ways. Partly there's a lesson that is teaching you about the psychomotoric development of how your body was developed from when you were in the second trimester and until you were 12 to 19 years old, what muscles were developed and all the different psychological factors. And they can be tied in directly with the fetters, because the fetters are just 10 different ways of identifying. And that's why it's very easy to see in which age group that those underlying beliefs about the fetters were created, when you believe that people were against you, or you didn't have autonomy, or whatever you believe, that you have no worth, or no, you think you are lacking self-esteem, or you are having anger bouts, or whatever. That can be tied into a specific age and a specific muscle group and a specific way of moving the body in space. The second lesson is about how you release that tension. What do you exactly do to release that tension? And it's with eye movement, with EMDR, it's with different body exercises that is helping you release it. And the last lesson is how you reprogram. And the reprogramming is just as important. When you have a muscle and there's you have to have equal tonus on both sides of, you have the bone and then you have the muscle on each side, and those two work together, and that needs to be equal. If you have a back problem, you also have a chest problem. If you have, a shoulder problem, you also have a bicep tricep problem, because everything is connected that way. So it's not only about releasing, excuse me, it's also about reprogramming your body movements into what is actually a normal way for your body to be in the world and to work in the world. So that is kind of like the embodiment part. And then we have lots and lots and lots of inquiries.
Yes.
Partly that goes with the body release.
Yeah, so effectively, the way that the way that the retreat is laid out is that we have 7 days, and the first day is kind of an introduction. We're talking about an overarching themes of the retreat, and so that day there's an inquiry which is basically like a diagnostic test to see where you are when you start the retreat. It scans through all the different parts of the body. There are some exercises involved with that, but they are it's a way of tuning in, seeing what you have contact with, what's what moves, what comes up, what emotional stuff is connected to it, and then you actually can take notes as you're doing it. And then the second day of the retreat focuses on fetters 1 and 2.
Yeah.
Next day is fetters 3 and 9. Then 4 and 5, then 6 and 7, and then 8 and 10, and then the final day is a recap where we go back through everything again, and you use the same inquiry from the first day to see then what has changed, what
Another
is different.
Diagnostic.
Yeah,
where are you now?
Exactly, after the 7 days. But there's, for each of the internal 5 days, there's an inquiry which goes into the 2 fetters that we're working with in that particular day. All of the inquiries come from a slightly more embodied standpoint than we often do. We do usually have a lot of feeling in touch with the senses and that sort of thing, but I tried to make sure that we're really focusing on those for this particular retreat. So,
and that's also why we have made it like we've done it. So that diagnostic tool that Todd talks about, it's also something that you can use afterwards. So for example, like every first of the month or every full moon or whatever you feel like, you could do the inquiry. So you do a diagnostic and see, where am I now in the way that I'm working with these things? Is there any kind of identification I haven't spotted? And then you kind of like draw a line in the sand, find out where am I right now, and you can use that. All the material, I just want to say that from the retreat, is on a playlist that you get access to when you buy the add-on, and you have access to that as long as YouTube or our channels which exist.
Yeah.
So you can do it whenever you need to.
Yeah, and on that note, at least a week or two before, as soon as people have paid for it, a week or two before, we're going to be sending out the playlist so that you have the opportunity, because all of the material, all the pre-recorded material will be there for you. And then you can start watching, because some of the videos are labeled that they should be watched before the retreat, and then some of it might be useful just to kind of get a feel for before we actually start. So it will all be there for you before the retreat actually begins.
Yeah, and I also just want to say that the day on the retreats where you have the second day, which is where you work with the first fetter, the identification with thought, and the identification with feeling and emotion. That day we are working with it the entire day. So the idea that we have with it is that all the material for that day is what you're working with, and we can actually do that now, walk through how we plan, how we have imagined that a day, how that could look. Obviously is different for all of us because we are all in different time zones. We have people in every single time zone, and that's also why we have made it like we have, so it is available to you to do the way that fits you best. But could we walk through how the plan is?
So there is one morning meditation that I made that I'm hoping everybody will use the same meditation every morning to set the tone for the day, tune in. And I'm really a big fan of the see, hear, feel technique, which many people have already heard me go on about. But if you're not familiar with it, I also recorded a new introduction to the see, hear, feel technique that I absolutely recommend doing, because it has some of the add-ons to it, like see, rest and see, flow. And so watching that before the retreat is great. And then every morning when you first wake up, you can listen to and do the morning meditation to kind of set the tone, get back into the senses, out of thought, even recognizing that thought is just thought and it's nothing that needs to be taken seriously. And then from there...
Well, then there will be daily exercises. There are some exercises that we recommend you to do every single day. And then when you work specifically with first, second, third, 9, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 10, we have specific exercises that go in and work with that type of identification, how that identification is logged into the body, that specific add-on exercises that you do to the daily exercise that we have. So for example, after you have listened to the morning meditation, then you do the exercises, the daily exercises, and the add-on exercises specifically for the feathers that we're working with that day.
Yeah, and of course it does depend on what time zone you're in as to whether you have time to do those in the morning before our first sofa sit, which is live, or if you want to do those after the first sofa sit a little bit later in the day. So again, it's pre-recorded, so it's flexible.
And you can just listen to it whenever during the day that it fits.
Yeah.
The first live session that is going to be on the retreat is at 10 o'clock.
Eastern time,
and that is live, where you come in like the normal Zoom groups that we have. And the first one is a sofa sit where we talk specifically about the topic of the day. So for example, first and second feather, the identification with thoughts, feeling, and emotion, and how that is correlated in with embodiment. There will also be, I assume, we haven't really planned how we're going to do it. We're very organic that way, just talking about it when it happens. But I assume there's also going to be exercises that we do together for that. Yeah. And that is about an hour and a half, maybe 2 hours. And then it would be lunch or dinner, depending on which time zone you're in.
Or more time to do the exercises.
Go for a walk, do more exercises, do meditation or inquiry or whatever you need to do. And then at 2 o'clock Eastern time, we have the Q&A. And the Q&A is like you are used to with the inquiry group we have on Tuesdays or the Q&A that we have on Fridays. But it's very important that the questions are only about the exercises and the experiences during that day.
Yeah. Or if something has come up from the day before that it seems relevant, but we're not taking general questions, and it's not curriculum questions or any of that. It's specifically
very
focused
specific
about the experience
that we have had. And that is also going to be an hour, 2 hour. We don't know, 3 hours. We don't know how long that's going to be, depending on how many questions there is. And then again, do exercises afterwards. Do exercises, eat dinner, go for a walk, whatever you need to do. All the material, as Todd said, is there, so you could do it whichever way you want.
And then there's the evening inquiry meditation or guided inquiry for every day, which again, if you're in kind of the Eastern time zone way that we're laying it out, you can do that kind of the last part of the day. Otherwise, put it in wherever works for you time wise.
But that inquiry is specifically tied into that day.
Exactly. So
that inquiry incorporates the assumption that you have done the daily exercises, that you have done the exercise, the add-on for that day, that you have listened to the sofa sit for that day, for that specific topic, that you have been to the Q&A for that specific topic. And then there's kind of like an inquiry that is summing everything up and really, really taking it home. No. The inquiries are amazing. Thank you. And then we have made...
we
believe in brainwash.
We do. So there's I think it's about 9.5 hour video of, I took previous inquiries that I've made in the past and basically balanced them all out so that volume wise there's nothing startling or jarring. They all have the same kind of tone. I'm gonna sneeze.
Prosit.
Tack. I've balanced them all out, and then also cut off the beginnings and the ends so that it kind of flows in a way that takes you all the way from first fetter through the 10th fetter, all in one night.
And it's meant to listen to while you sleep.
Yeah.
So reprogramming your brain while you sleep, and then the next morning you wake up and you do the morning meditation, and it's basically repeating itself. So it's a very, very demanding program, and we do not expect many of you to do all of it for those 7 days. We have already heard of a lot of people that are taking holiday from their work and are taking, holiday from family and just, doing this intensely for those 7 days. And I can absolutely recommend you to do that. If it's not possible, the material is available for you and everything is recorded.
Yeah. And the sofa sits and the Q&As, which again are live, are going to be recorded and then immediately added to the playlist right afterwards. So
if you can't participate, then you have them there.
Yeah, they'll still be there.
And also, if you can't participate in the retreat at all, then you can do it in whichever way that suits you afterwards. So you more or less have it as an add-on. Yeah. And besides that, we have found some beautiful people that you probably already know that are support. So it's like team, support team during the retreat. It's people that know about the curriculum, that have seen through the fetters, that can help you and to be there. And it's just because Todd and I, we are in Eastern time, and there are people in Australia and on Hawaii and Asia where it's completely different time. So when we either are having the groups or we're meditating or having lunch or sleeping or whatever, then there will be people that are available if you need it. Because we know that when you start to do the exercises and all of the embodiment, things will come up. And it might not come up conveniently when we have a Q&A. It might be at another time. So therefore we have an amazing support network for you, and that is all on Discord.
Yeah. So about Discord.
Here we go.
It's been so many of you have probably already gotten an email from me regarding Discord. If you're just seeing this and signing up afterwards, expect an email from me about Discord. We had started the Unfettered Awakening Discord server some months ago, and it's been going well. There's a lot of stuff with there are social chat rooms and chat rooms about specific questions, and then there are the video chat rooms, which are basically like an on-demand Zoom session where anybody can enter, and it's really lovely. So we wanted to
we were going to just say, I just want to add that the idea with having the Discord and having the video is that you at any point when you need support, you can go into the Discord, you can go into the video room, and if you at any point come to Discord and you see there's anybody in the video room and you feel extra surplusy that day, you can enter the video room and see if you can help out, if you can be the one that is giving support to somebody.
Yeah. So there are 3 different aspects of the Discord group, which I think is important for this. So we did set up a basic social text chat for Discord in case people want to write back and forth. I think that's probably going to be the least used of the options, but there it is. But the important part is that we have 3 video chat rooms that are open. So one of them is going to be a silent practice room. So we suggest, if you're able to, when you're doing your meditations or embodied exercises or the inquiries or any of that stuff, to go on and have that open. So your microphone is silenced. We're muting all of the microphones in that room. But you can have your video on, and so it creates that sort of sense of a community where it's like you're meditating and practicing with other people in a way that gives a sort of feeling of community, and you're not just alone in your room doing it. It's just wonderful to sit
and meditate with other people.
It really is. And if you're somebody who could use the accountability for sitting there, then it's also great for that. So that one is available all the time, and we really recommend you to use it as much as possible. The second one is that we have a social and lunch video room. So again, if you want to just have a break where you're talking to other people at the retreat about these things, whatever's going on, just in a general thing, if you have questions about specific topics, if you just want to get together and have lunch together at an approximate lunchtime for you, you're free to join in on that one, and you can chat and hang out and just have a little social time. But then the third one is the support room, which is what you were talking about. So if you are in a position where you feel like you really need somebody to hold space for you, to talk with somebody, to just
be reminded that whatever feeling and emotion that has come up, that is a thought attached to a sensory experience, and you just need someone to hold space for that, or to talk to somebody with that. But this can't be real, they can't just be a thought. Then that is a room to enter.
Exactly. And so if you are able to like you had said, if you have kind of surplus and you want to be there for other people, you can just be in that room and you're available for anybody who wants to come in. If you are in need of talking to somebody, you can enter the room. But the other option is, and I've just made a little video kind of outlining these things, but if you pick one of the specific people who you know ahead of time is doing support, who's volunteering in this way, or
and who has given consent.
Exactly, or somebody who you know ahead of time, you're doing the retreat, that you know who's at the retreat. And I think it's actually really great if people have like a buddy system for this, where they kind of
buddy up,
know that, okay, well, I'm going to be here for you, and vice versa, because we have a community now where people do know each other. And so if people want to kind of band together like that, this would be a perfect opportunity for it. And then you can go on, and if they're online, you can message them, see if they're available to talk. And then you can either go to the support room, or you can just do a one-to-one call on there.
Yeah, just make sure that before you click on calling anyone, that you have consent, that it's okay with them that you call. So you just make sure that is okay. But we have you made a really good video, and
we'll insert that.
Yeah, which you can watch now.
Sure. Okay, so this is the Discord server, and this is what it should look like when you come in. Most of these things are here for everybody, and things that are specifically for the retreat are labeled with retreat. So the text chat is up here, and this is the retreat chat. And then all the voice channels are down here. So these are where almost everything is going to be happening. The Hangout video and the Hive Mind video guiding are always here. These are regular parts of the Discord group. What you have special access to if you are in the retreat is the retreat silent practice room, the retreat social and lunch room, and the retreat support room. So how you're going to use these, well, actually, before I say that too, you can see here who's online and then who is offline. So this will give you an idea of people who you can contact and reach out to if you need support. If you know somebody in particular is either on our support team, or if you know somebody, if you have spoken with somebody and they have agreed to be kind of a buddy or a partner during this, that would be wonderful. And you right click on their name. I think it's, I don't know, on a Mac, is that like control click or something like that? But you will find this extra menu where you can message them or call them, or and that's really what's relevant here. But they're there. What you will do when you want to use these other functions, the retreat chat, if we click on that, so far we have one person. Yay! Hi, Cleona. Basically, this is a chat. It's a very old school kind of a chat where you can just type into it, and then that will be visible for everybody. the video chats are the really interesting part of the virtually in-person retreat experience. So if you click on the silent practice room, which is where we're asking people to do the inquiries, meditation, and embodied work, again, please leave your microphone off when you're in this room so that it does stay silent and doesn't disturb everybody. But basically all you have to do to enter it is click on the name of it, and it will connect you. And then it's default to having your camera turned off. You can, if you want to have a visible presence, which we would love, you just turn your camera on, and here I am. And then you're able to see everybody who is in the room at this moment. We just want to make sure that your microphone is muted. So this is where we'll turn off the microphone so nobody else can hear me speak. And then because I am here, anybody else can just pop in and join. So we hope to have a lot of people in here at that during the retreat all the time. And if you want to leave, you just go to this little old school telephone thing, and this will disconnect you and remove you from the room. You're gone from the room now. Same thing here. We have the retreat for socializing and eating lunch together. It's the same thing. This puts us automatically connected. We can turn on the camera. We can see each other. I still have my microphone turned off, so if we want to speak, we can just turn the microphone on and we can chat. We don't need any of that other stuff right now. And you can also, when you're in one of these rooms, if you have a friend down here who you would like to join, who's also part of the retreat, you can also invite friends. I haven't actually played with that yet, but supposedly it's possible. I'm going to close out of this room now. And then lastly, we have the retreat support room. And then this is the retreat support room where you're going to have the ability to reach out to certain people if you feel like something is coming up that you want to talk about, or basically just need somebody to kind of hold space for you to process whatever it is that you're going through. We might have a few of these. I'm not sure right now whether we're going to keep just one room or we might open multiple of them. So if there are more people who want to talk to one-on-one with other people at the same time, we'll have that available. The other option is reaching out directly to the people who we have who are volunteering to help do this. And like I showed, let me get out of here so I can show you that again. If specifically we were looking for, if I really wanted to reach out to Pernilla, for instance, she's going to be busy during the retreat, but in this case, if I wanted to reach out to her because something was coming up and I just needed to talk, I would right click and I would call or send her a message. I think what I would recommend for doing during this retreat is to send a message first to the person, make sure that they are available to talk with you, and then you can either meet up in the support room if it's free, or you can just do a one-on-one call, and these are just like a Zoom meeting. Very, very easy. So it's really just that simple. Of course, even during the retreat, these other rooms are still open. So if you have questions about Fetters 4 and 5, or embodiment stuff, or 6 Fetter stuff, or foundational Fetters, you can always click on those, and you can see people have been actively writing into some of these too. So it's all here for you when you're in the retreat. And again, all of this stuff is going to stay even after the retreat. So hopefully people will continue using the silent practice room, the social and lunch room, and the support room for something to continue the retreat even after the 7 days are up in June. So I hope that helps. Feel free to reach out to me with any further questions and let me know how your experience with Discord is going. Thank you so much. See you soon. Bye.
Okay, so welcome back.
Hello.
The next thing we would like to talk about, because we said it multiple times, the way that it works is that if you would like to participate on the retreat in June, or you would like to have the add-on so you have it at any point where you can add it on and do more unfettered embodied awakening, then you can send Todd an email. You can also go to the homepage, theawakeningcurriculum.com, and then click on the retreat, and there's all the information about the retreat, and there's also the join button, and that is basically just an email to Todd.
It is.
And then you pay, the fee is $250 that you pay, and then the moment you pay, you get an email from Todd where he include all the information. He include link to the YouTube channel where all the video for all the videos for the material is there, and then he also sends you a PDF where you have all the slides that are used in the material, where you have all the information that we have to the embodiment, to the developmental ages and all of that. And there's also a detox add-on, which is which started out being more, but then the more that the retreat grew, it's just like a 10-minute video talking about hydration, talking about 18-6 fasting, talking about how you use the third fetter, which is about healthy habits and beneficial habits, so self-care for the non-self, and how you can do that with a detox add-on where it's really about listening to what the body needs and not what you're used to doing. And that you get access to. You get a PDF with all that information.
And you'll also get a link to the Zoom, which is going to be the same Zoom link for all of these sofa sits and Q&As every day.
Yeah.
And you will also get invitations to, and this is where still working some of the bugs out with Discord, but you'll get an invitation to link to each of the social groups, or each of the video chat groups and the social text group. Each one is private. They're all private only for people who are attending the retreat, and so you have to have a specific invitation to each one. Still working on it, seeing if I can streamline the process in some way, but at that point it looks like that's the way that's going to have to be.
Yeah. And what is recorded is the sofa sit and the Q&A. Everything on Discord, whatever video group you start to do, whatever sharing that you have with someone, all of that is not recorded. That's completely private between you and whoever's in the group at the moment.
Yeah, I was just going to say, because of the type of work that we're doing in this retreat, it is important to know if you're in mental and emotional space to be able to work with this stuff, because it can bring up a lot of unmet traumas and things in the body that could be destabilizing or really uncomfortable at times. And so
you really need to consider if this is something for you. It's like we said multiple times, it's not something that you need to wake up. Not at all. The curriculum is there. If you do the awakening curriculum and you do the exercises that you get in the curriculum, you will wake up. It's that simple. It cannot be any other way, because that's how the material is made. This is an add-on. It is an add-on if you want to work with the embodiment of it. And you need to be both mentally and physically and psychologically and emotional stable to do it, because a lot of things will come up. And if you don't feel ready for it, or if you are not stable, make sure that you have people with you. Even if you feel stable, make sure that you have, a network around you. So whenever things come up, partly you have the network with all the other people that are doing the retreat, but also if you have therapy on the side, or if you have a guide on the side or something like that, make sure that when you start the retreat, that they are there and they know that you're doing the retreat.
Yeah, absolutely.
So it's really setting the stage in the best possible way for you for having a great experience when you do the embodiment. I think that's it.
I think so.
If there's any question, just write it in the comment section.
Send me an email.
Send Todd an email. And you can always go to Discord. There we have an amazing community in there. If you have any questions at all, there will always, about anything, there's always people in there answering. It's a beautiful, wonderful community that we have there.
And under this video, we'll also add the general Discord link again. It's an invitation link that won't
expire.
That won't expire, but it also won't get you into any of the retreat rooms. You'll have to. Once you pay, I will send you the invitation to those particular retreat rooms.
Yeah. I think that's it.
I think so.
I think that's it.
If not, there'll be more coming.
Probably.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you very much. Yes. We're so looking forward. Yeah. We're so super excited. Yeah. We've been working so long for this and so intensely, and we're very, very excited. And it's the first time we're going to do it, so it might, it might work and it might not work. We don't know yet.
Yeah, thank you for being part of our experiment.
Yeah, it's an absolute experiment. Yeah. As far as we know, this has not been done before. The working with the embodiment with specific body exercises to release and to reprogram with non-duality, as far as we know, that has never been done before. So we're very, very excited. It is an experiment, and we're super excited about it.
And also, we're hoping for it to be a virtually in-person one.
Yes.
So hence the Discord element, which again I should also say is the Discord portion. If you are not into Discord and if you can't get it to work, it's an additional part of the retreat. Excuse me, but you will still have full access to all of the recorded material and the live Zoom sessions and all of that. Yeah. It's just something to make it feel more like you are at an in-person retreat.
Yeah, like having lunch together, like sitting and meditating together and all of that. Yeah.
We're trying to bridge the gap between the virtual and the in-person.
In-person.
Yeah. We'll see how that works.
We'll see how that works. Okay, I think that's it.
Yeah.
Thanks,
everyone.
Thank you.
See you soon.
Bye.